So now we got to move on, folks, to Punisher One Last Kill, which we know that title fucking doesn't make any goddamn sense, and it's stupid. It's a 45-minute Disney Plus short film.
45-minute felt generous.
Yeah, so it's kind of like Werewolf by Night, where it's a short little...
It's like they said, hey, we know you guys want us to do Punisher.
Yeah.
So here's Punisher, and then they walked away. It's like, okay... I'm so torn on this. I'm like... I'm right at like 50-50, maybe 60-40 on a good day. But like, the problem is that this is just Dredd. It's just Dredd. And Dredd is a better version of this.
It is, but for a little bit of time. Like the part...
For enough of it, I would say.
But the part at the actual... So what the scene Al's talking about is there's a scene at a massive apartment complex where the bad guys are coming up and the Punisher has to go down and take them all out. And that's about 10 minutes. So I give you, it's a quarter of the thing. But I don't know about you. I'm getting tired of the, like, tortured Frank Castle. Yeah. I want the Frank Castle that's just like, that we kind of see at the end of this. But I would expect this, because was there 2 or 3 seasons of The Punisher?
There were 2.
2 seasons of Punisher, but then he also was a big part of the 3rd season of Daredevil, right?
Yes.
That's the one he was in.
The 2nd season of Daredevil, 2 seasons of The Punisher.
Oh, it was the 2nd season of Daredevil.
Second season.
So he's been a major... But it's like, we've gotten past that point where he shouldn't be this tortured, I'm gonna scream... Like, that scream that he does over and over and over again. Like, it's cool at first, but then you're like...
It felt like, admittedly, I haven't watched the Punisher TV series in a while. I've been meaning to go back to it, but I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't remember Curtis dying. I don't remember Micro dying. I don't remember he picked up a girl at one point that was hanging around with him. Like, he had a group of people. Yeah. And the girl's in Ted now, so I guess that's where she ended up. But, like, I'm lost. I feel like, okay, but when did all this happen? That's it right there. What's going on? You said it. Because, like, I get it. It's been conservatively... I hate this fucking timeline. Let's say that the 2nd season of Punisher takes place in 2018.
Okay.
And then the snap happened sometime after the 2nd season of Punisher ends, right? And so now you have 5 years... plus the amount of time that we've actually been since 2018, which is 8 years. So you have a commiserate 12 years. Sure. I guess. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I've been trying to figure out, and what's it, like you're saying, the timeline is, no one can figure it out. The way he looks at the start of this movie, I'm going to use quotations on that, this movie,
special, whatever you
is want to call it, how he looked in this most recent season of Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
The brief period he's in it. And then the end of this movie is what he looks like in the upcoming Spider-Man movie. As far as having his outfit on and looking like, I understand, I'm done being this grumpy fuck. I am going to be just a vigilante that goes out and kills bad guys.
I know what my mission is.
Exactly. It makes you think then that this takes place during that Daredevil Born Again, or it takes place right after it.
Yeah.
So there's no mention or anything of everything that happened at Daredevil. Like, there's no talk about... And anything that's going on in New York City around him, or anything around there about what happened with Kingpin and what's going on with this. And
well, and Daredevil Born Again Season 1 ends with Frank confronting the AVTF, basically telling all of them, if I ever see any of you, I will kill you.
Yes.
Take my name off your chest, keep my name out your mouth, and, understand that we are not the same. And breaking out of the Kingpin secret prison. And then I guess going to Queens and he just hangs out in Queens and has panic attacks and flashbacks, and I'm a little like that. That's the part that I get a little lost on. I'm just like, and also I've never thought of Frank as somebody who was like, I'm only doing this. I mean, like, obviously he was doing this because of his family, but like, I don't know, the kind of outrageous way that Marvel wove everybody's backstories and Punisher together, so there was this massive conspiracy that Frank's family was at the center of, so that now it's like when they're gone and he's done that, now he has nothing to do. I'm like, I don't know, I never got that feeling from Frank.
I call this, I every time I see it, I start laughing. It's the Pepe Sylvia scene where they have the board with all the things. And I'm like, dude, that cliche is so fucking used out. There are computers now. Yeah. People do this shit digitally. Just fucking stop doing this. It's in everything still. Stop. Yeah. It's fucking been done to death.
Yeah, no, I like this, but I felt taken out of it by a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like, so the parts of it that I like are also, unfortunately for this, biased. The building that he lives in, we lived within sightline of one of those buildings.
Okay.
Like, I knew those kinds of streets. That street felt like my old street in the Bronx. Like, I felt very attached to it, which was why I was like, how the fuck is no one here stopping any of this from happening?
Yeah.
This is supposed to take place in the same year as the Kingpin, which is supposed to be hyperlaw. Where is anybody doing anything about this? Yep. Why is all this happening and there's just this lawlessness? Why is there this neo-Nazi running around beating people up?
And he looks like they stole Borderlands.
Yeah.
The crazy guy with the mask. Take the mask off. That's what looks like this guy. Yeah. The way he acted and ran around.
And they went too far making us hate him in the beginning. Like, they just they took it all too far.
They took it too. And I'll be honest, I gotta say something about the internet. Everyone talked up about the killing of the dog like it was the end-all worst thing. Yeah, it sucks that he killed the dog, but you don't see anything. You don't even hear anything.
You do. You do hear something.
Barely. But I mean, in the same vein, he's like, people are getting full on. The dude gets stabbed with a pencil numerous times, and they're like, yeah, it's fine. But a dog died off camera. It's the worst fucking thing that ever happened on the internet.
There's a scene where we do see the police show up, and then they run away.
Yeah.
Like, there's a moment
they start backing up and the car's on fire and the cops getting beat up.
A pimp is beating up a prostitute and is dragging her around by her hair, and this cop shows up, and then someone throws a milkshake at the car, and the cop just dips. Yeah. The cop's just gone. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I thought Kingpin was talking up this huge game. And also, where are all these vigilantes I hear so much about? And also, if this is Queens, now I gotta ask.
Where's Spider-Man?
Pete, the fuck's going on? Yeah. My dude, impolitely.
Well, and especially we know that this Punisher is going to be in the fucking movie!
With Pete!
This Punisher!
And they've interacted enough for him to call him Frank.
Yeah!
So what's going on? My dude! I need to know what your plan is here because it doesn't make any sense. I want to like this because it has that Avenging Angel feel that I really am like begging for in real life. And so you get to see it here and you're like, oh, great. But, like, and there's the violence, and there's the cursing, and it's a little sexy at times, and there's a lot of torn-up Punisher stuff, and I don't know, man. I just don't feel like it all came together in the end.
No, I agree. And a lot of it, once again, for me, is tortured Frank. I'm done with it. Like, I want to see my cold, steely Punisher. Yeah. I am here to kill people. I don't feel sorry for myself. I am what I am. And I fucking know what I am, and I'm very good at what I do, and I'm just going to kill people.
And it also makes it feel like they made it too big a deal. Like, if it's this big a deal, where Frank is, like, carving up his own skin.
And, like, seeing
and ghosts and having hallucinations. And then he's just going to be like, oh, I have a new mission. I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? No, he's just going to shrug that off? No. No. At one point, this was a moment I was like, is that what's going on here? And it's the only thing I can think of. He was doing so many pull-ups, his hands were bleeding. Which I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm a little confused by the physics of that.
That doesn't happen.
I don't know how that would even work.
I saw a guy in Marine boot camp that did 48 pull-ups and stopped because he just wasn't tired, just wanted to stop. His hands weren't bleeding.
No.
48. I don't think Frank is doing 48 fucking pull-ups.
Even if he's doing pull-ups for 48 hours, I don't know that his hands are going to start bleeding like he's been sliced by glass.
Well, that's the thing is, I thought they were going to show us that he was like putting glass up there to like torture himself.
No, he's just doing so many pull-ups. He's injured his hands. I don't know that I've ever hurt. Your muscles in your arm would tear before that happened.
Nothing against Frank Castle. I've seen his back. He wasn't doing that many pull-ups.
No.
You do that many pull-ups, so your hands bleed, your back's going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
so don't fucking tell me.
No, so there were just a lot of elements like that in this whatever you want to call it, that I was just like, I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
And there are moments that really work. But holy shit, I don't know what your plan is here, man. Like, it feels like you had someone came in with this idea and they were like, it's Punisher, but he has PTSD.
Yeah.
And Marvel was like, cool, that sounds like something that veterans will be into and other groups will be into. Let's do it. And then they put it out there, and then it's really the snap of the fingers, he's cured thing at the end. That just like it. So now that means nothing. And I can't look back at it and be like, oh, this is like a huge thing about like torture and PTSD. He's just over it. He just gets over it. And then on top of it, the stuff that of him being the Punisher is good, but it also, there's a moment where you're just like, Frank, the woman said she was going to send people who didn't care who they killed. And I know you care about the kids in this building.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are you here, man? Why the fuck are you here? And also, I don't want to be the guy to say this, Frank doesn't have the super soldier serum. He took some wicked falls in this.
When he fell onto the school bus, and then it's like, okay, you fell through scaffolding onto a school bus from 40 feet up?
Yeah.
And then on the ground, and then you got up, spit out some blood, and went back to the fight? No.
As a beat-up 38-year-old who just dislocated his shoulder falling down the stairs, I'm like, okay.
I mean, it's like if Anthony Mackie fought the Hulk. He would just be fine.
Oh my god. Looking back on that, it's hilarious. Like, now that the shroud has fallen, and I can be like, no, it was a bad movie. You don't have to defend it. It was a bad movie. Looking back on that, you can be like, well, he has vibranium wings, and he has a vibranium shield. It's still, the physics of it just
it's
don't
still the
quite
fucking
work.
Hulk, man.
It just doesn't really work. It makes you kind of laugh.
I do want to talk about, you mentioned her. Okay.
Yeah.
So halfway through this story.
Yeah.
Judith fucking Light, a.k.a. Angela from Who's the Boss.
Is that who that
shows
was?
up, that's who it was. Shows up in a wheelchair with a henchman that just, his job, they must have put in the job description, have a good stink eye.
Yeah.
Because that's all he does is give the stink eye, but then like flexes a little, like, okay, this guy has no acting
Be available
experience.
to carry her when she inevitably doesn't want to be carried.
Exactly. But honestly, it reminded me of, did you ever hear the story of Terry Crews, how he got into the movie with Denzel Washington where he's a cop? Training Day. At the end, when they're having the confrontation with gang members of Denzel Washington, Terry Crews is just standing in the background, like his arms folded. He wasn't an actor yet. He was friends with somebody, and the director saw him and said, Jesus, you're big. Can you just stand in the camera and look mean? And that's what he did. And that's what this guy was. Yeah. He was the Terry Crews list. He was just standing. Like you said, he ended up carrying her when she wanted to be. But it's like the whole basic, everything behind that, it's like, okay, like you're the sister of this, the mafia boss, but he didn't kill everybody, and like you're still alive, and like what the fuck does anything have to do with anything? It was
like, oh, it's a reverse Punisher, where like this woman who's the wife of a crime boss loses her entire family to the Punisher, which is what the Punisher is killing people for doing, and it's like, but here's the but. That's a very big stretch at best, because the crime. I think the crime of it all is the big defining factor. You have a bunch of kids who just wanted to ride a merry-go-round, and then you have, a crime family. So I think that's going to undercut your point a little bit.
And kind of what you were saying, I think the biggest problem this movie has is parts of it were done much better in The Raid and Dredd. And then also, the gunplay side of it, now that John Wick is a thing, gunplay's been done far better. So it's like you're trying to do bits of both.
I liked when he was going through the building and it was like a video game and he was like grabbing clips and reloading and then changing.
No, I liked it too.
I like that.
But it's like that's a John Wick thing.
Yeah.
and it's been done so well now, you're like, okay, so now they're stealing from all these things where the Punisher, I almost wish it would have been more of he was already the Punisher we see at the end in this movie. And, like, she confronts him, and he says something like, make sure you send enough guys. And like you said, instead of him waiting for them to, like, start grabbing people and throwing dudes off of balconies, he just comes out and just starts fucking... Like, he doesn't have to pick up someone's gun because he's out of ammo. He is the fucking Punisher, and he has enough weapons to take out the entire world.
I would love... So, in all worlds, I can't help it. It is who I am at my core. We go back to Spider-Man.
Okay.
There is a good crossover episode of Spider-Man, the animated series, where... After Mary Jane disappears for a variety of reasons, including, but not limited to, a teleporting device, her aunt, Aunt Anna, hires the Punisher to find her by following Peter Parker, because she thinks he's at the center of this, which, yes. Have something like that. Instead of this tortured PTSD thing, have something where he's being hired by somebody in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So you need to go and find somebody. You're a person, my girl, she's been missing for 3 days. I'm worried, sick. I can't think. I can't eat. I can't do anything. I can't imagine what she's gotten herself into. Last I saw her, she was here. And it's like, it's how old his daughter would be if she hadn't died. And so now he's going to take this job. And then that leads into everything with the mob. And then that's the finale is, you know, you have this moment where he finds where the girl went. He confronts this woman. She says, I'm going to send everybody after you because of who you killed in my life. And he says, bring it.
Yeah.
You're going to need more men. And not these men. These guys are all dead.
And I agree with you. I don't like their solution to PTSD in this. Their solution is go on a killing spree.
Yeah.
And that'll cure your PTSD. It's like, no, that's not, that shouldn't be
Find a new
what
mission,
the answer is.
Which can be, and is not exclusively limited to, but can be killing people.
Yeah.
That can be the new mission. Find a new mission for you in your life, including but not limited to killing people. And it's like, I don't know that that's what you want to say. I don't think that comes off the way you want it to come off.
That ending was so ambiguous where so there's an old veteran in the beginning that the bald neo-Nazi guy takes his hat, kills his dog, and then they beat him up a little bit. And then at the end of the movie, Punisher comes out in his full Punisher garb, and he hits the neo-Nazi guy and stops him from attacking somebody. And the neo-Nazi guy's running away. And the old veteran's like, hey, it's got my hat. So he throws a knife in his leg to stop him. And then all the veteran says is, that's not the worst thing he did to me. And that's enough for the Punisher to kill the guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't even say he killed my dog. All he says is, that's not the worst thing he did to me. Okay, taking your hat, the next worst thing could be stealing $20.
Yeah.
And then he's going to shoot him in the fucking head. Yeah. You know, it's like, I was like, dude.
Yeah.
That one was a little like, okay, that was murder.
I just feel like here's the thing. We as an audience hate that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Frank has no reason to hate that guy.
Yes.
And that's the problem. If Frank had always marked him every time we see him beat someone up in the neighborhood, and Frank sees every single time and kind of like checklists it, but doesn't have the will to do something about it, okay, that's something. We don't even really have that. I think Frank sees him maybe once in the entire thing, and it's just not enough of a connection for him to be like, I'm going to kill this guy because he's a hoodlum in the neighborhood that's making things worse. Like, I just feel like there's more interesting things you can do with the Punisher, and if you want to do PTSD, that can be part of it.
Yeah.
But doing it this way, I don't think that this is a good portrayal of PTSD. I don't think that this is a good portrayal of mental health.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think this is a good portrayal of men's mental health. Like, there's just a lot of things about this that I'm just like, okay, on a social thing, which is what you could argue this was done this way for, you fail.
You fail.
And on a Punisher level, you kind of, it's not a fail, but it's not...
It's not the home run you were thinking it was. And it was disappointing because this was written and produced by John Barenthal. Like, he was one of the
And he took it very seriously.
Yes.
And I think he got a lot of it right, and I think he got a lot of it wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. I think that this is... Whereas most Marvel things are half-baked, I think this is like 2/3 baked. It's still a little gummy in the middle. Yeah. And if you served it to a chef in a competitive series, they'd be like, well, this isn't fully cooked. But it's not as raw as some of their other ideas.
Yeah.
But I just wish they did more.
I'm going to take that scene you were talking about where he threatens, or where he kills the guy, and how they dealt with the neo-Nazi. I recently have watched I love this movie, The Great Time Cop, with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And there is the scene in the beginning where a guy on rollerblades steals a purse from a lady, and Jean-Claude just puts his foot up in a full split in the guy's face and says pretty much, rethink your fucking life. This could have been, he's ready to run and hit somebody, runs into the Punisher, gets knocked onto the ground, and as he's looking up, you're scanning up the Punisher and you see the skull and you're like, oh fuck. And then the Punisher's like, you need to rethink your fucking choices.
And this guy becomes one of the Punisher's guys in the neighborhood that
Or he just shits himself and runs away. Yeah. But it's like, no, we're gonna fucking put a bullet in his head for no... I mean, once again, he has the reason because we know the reason, but to the Punisher, he gets a bullet in his head for no reason.
Yeah. He takes the word of one person.
Yes. And it's not even a descriptive word. No. It's just a basic... I think you should kill him.
Yeah. Okay. And there's a lot of that going around in this neighborhood.
Yeah.
I think the one guy that doesn't feel that way is the guy that runs the deli, who I really like.
That was a great scene.
I thought that was great. I thought that stuff with the deli and the girl, I thought every time that guy showed up, he was great. I want to get his name because I've seen him in other things.
Yeah, in the fight in the deli. I think that would be my favorite scene of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Was that where he is running to the deli, takes out a couple guys, gets to the deli, just fucking kills everybody.
Yeah.
And it's kind of where the adults look at him as a monster, but the girl knows you saved our lives.
Yes. The Frankenstein.
Kind of. Yeah, but I there's a fucking movie that did that, and I can't... where a kid is like, thank you. Like, the adults are like, you're evil. And the kid's like, no, they just fucking saved our goddamn life. And the little girl, like, she gave him what, a flower?
A flower.
Oh, like, that was great.
Yeah.
I fucking love that scene.
Andre Royo was the dad.
Yes.
Who owns the diner and is, like, the driving force of, like, good in the neighborhood.
Yes, the empathy he shows to the mentally challenged, the guy that's having all kinds of mental issues, and
he doesn't kick him out right away. He tries to help him.
Yes.
And it just gets to a point where he's like, you gotta go. You gotta go. And again, people I've seen in my former neighborhood. These are people I knew in passing.
Yep.
Of like situations that I knew in passing. I knew homeless people like that were just, they really needed help. They didn't have anybody that could give it to them, and they were just left wandering around, and they would just wander into places and cause trouble and anxiety for the people trying to go about their day, but they didn't mean anything by it. They weren't being evil. They were just having a bad time. And it's just like, I remember all of these things, and that's what I loved about that element of it. I wish there was more of Frank connecting to that roots of the neighborhood. And instead, like, when he's walking down the street, and it's just chaos and evil.
And he's not
doing anything. It makes me sick to my stomach.
Yes.
It's just like, no, there's no way the Frank I know who has gone through the things I've seen this Frank go through is going to watch all of this happen and do nothing about it. I just don't believe that.
Because the real Punisher would have killed all of them.
Yeah.
And all of the people that were getting victimized would have been like, I didn't fucking say anything.
Yeah.
They would be on his side.
Yeah.
And I agree with you 1,000%. That scene pissed me off.
It made me so mad. And I get it. That's the point. But, like, unfortunately, there's a lot of that. Like, I'll give you either. You can have the scene where he walks down the street and he doesn't do anything. Or you can have one of the many scenes from when he visits his daughter's grave. Also weird that he only visits his daughter's grave and doesn't talk about his son or his wife who are buried right next to her. But whatever. It's fine. So, I don't mind that we keep coming back to that. That's fine. It's a little excessive to have 3 trips to the cemetery and the scene of him walking past all this carnage. And it's just like, yeah, I get it. Frank is fucked up.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind that Frank is fucked up. I feel like this took it too far of like, he's so lost that he's not the Punisher anymore. And I'm like, this
it's not the, like,
this sucks, man.
Frank Castle was at his most lost right after the death of his family.
Yeah.
And then he quickly kind of turned into the Punisher. We had 2 seasons of him already. And once again, I know Marvel can say, well, they're not really part of the canon. They are part of this.
They're getting closer and closer all the time.
They're really fucking part of this. And so it's like, we already had 2 seasons of him going through this, and he already became the Punisher, and now we're going to regress.
Yeah.
And then bring him back at the end of this just so he can go into a PG-13 Spider-Man movie and not kill anybody?
That's the other thing is, like, what was the purpose of this? Like, we've already had so much growth from Frank. So what do we gain by watching him go? He's more torn up about not having the mission of avenging his family than the death of his family. Like, when he was at his lowest after his family died, it didn't look like this. No. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I just feel like...
And his mission early on was, I need to take out every bad guy, and I need to not send him to prison, but to fucking kill him.
Even at the beginning of, I think it's the beginning of season 1, we see him on a construction site.
Yeah.
Like, he's not lost, he's just inactive, right? And it's just like, this felt weird.
Yeah.
This felt weird and out of place and out of context, and then they didn't provide any context to back it up. And there was elements that felt like, oh, it's another day in Marvel, but then there were other elements that were like, how long has it been?
Exactly.
For Frank.
That's the problem, and it will be your and I problem with MCU in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Is we don't know when shit's happening. Because it doesn't make sense that this is currently happening, because if it was before the Kingpin, then Daredevil would have stopped him. Yeah. Or would have solved all these problems. But if it's after the Kingpin, then we know Spider-Man's here. And where's all the Kingpin stuff? Yeah. Where's anyone talking about what happened in New York? And
it's like, it makes it such a problem because when I do that math, and I say, okay, it may have been upwards of 12 years since the end of Punisher Season 2. That's an eternity.
Yeah.
Like, on the light side, it's been 8 years. It could have been as much as 12 years. That's crazy. What am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Like, 13 years? Of course people have died and there's all this cycling. You can do literally anything at that point. It's no wonder why they won't commit to a time or date. It's because, why would they? They can make characters exist at any point in this crazy cockamamie timeline that they've developed and have it be like, oh, of course he had a reset. Curtis died 6 years ago and Frank's just been torn up since. It's like, man, that would have been good to see, man.
Now I gotta hit the explicit tip because you said cockamamie. I gotta, we were doing good until the cockamamie comes out. So
I think that this is like a C+ for me. I like enough of it to like it, but I don't know that I'm gonna love it.
I'm gonna give it a flat C.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, a lot of that is that 10-minute part where he's taking out people and then has the fight in the deli. The rest of it, I could have done without.
It's not great. It's not nearly as good as you want it to be. And it's like, oh, Frank is tortured. Okay. And then it oscillates between Frank is tortured and self-mutilating. Frank is tortured and talking to his dead family. Frank is tortured and having hallucinations. And it's just like, it's just one variant of that flavor for the first 30 minutes. And then there's 15 minutes of hyperviolence and then a 3-minute denouement and we're out. And it's just like, I wanted this to be better than it was. And I agree with a lot of sentiment that I've seen on the internet, which is like what you said. It's really weird to do this and then go into a PG-13 version, which will be fully neutered from all of the everything we just saw.
Ridiculously. And it makes you really kind of wondering, as much as I need, if you're going to do Punisher, you got to do it hyper-violent. Part of me kind of wanted this to be James Bond violence. Mm-hmm. Because they need to tone it down to fit in the fucking Marvel. I still don't know how they're going to do Deadpool and Doomsday and all that. I have no fucking clue how they're going to do that. But if they would have done a James Bond, there's no real swearing, there's shit and ass, and they say one F word, and there's a lot of killing, but you don't see blood. But something that they could get away with saying, okay, well, this would be an easier transition than PG-13. Because even Daredevil Born Again, it's kind of pushing it to say it's R.
I wouldn't call it R. It's
a lot of people, I know. It would have been a PG-13 in the 80s.
Yeah.
So it would have been PG in the 80s. What am I talking about?
I would call it a PG, a hard PG-13.
Yeah.
On the far line of PG-13. But frankly, I think that there were elements in the Ben Affleck Daredevil that were more hardcore than some elements in
I forgot that movie so much. The only scene I remember about that movie is with the introduction of Bullseye, where he's doing darts.
Yeah.
I love that scene. That's the only scene I like in the movie because I thought if that could be his character throughout, and then they kind of fucked it up.
Yeah, no, there were a lot of potential in that movie, and a lot of it falls flat on its face. It's just, it doesn't work. And I'm so annoyed that after all of that, when Happy Hogan is in Peter Parker's apartment and Matt Murdock walks in, there's not any reference to him having been Foggy Nelson at one point, maybe at some point. We're not going to... You smell like Foggy. You smell like my partner. Like you must wear the same aftershave. Something.
When he's saying that he needs to get an attorney, he goes, "What? I don't think still." And he goes, "Is your head a little foggy or something like that?" You're
give me something. Give me something. Yeah. Come on. We know. You know. We know. So like,
or have like, I'll be honest, this would have been a long shot, but I would have laughed my tits off with them sitting there and have like Ben Affleck deliver a pizza or something like that, just something.
Or to make like a real deep cut of like Matt puts mustard in Foggy's coffee. Which Foggy does to Matt.
Yes, he does.
So, like, a real deep cut. But, like, give me something! We would all love it! And then people would be like, I kind of vaguely remember enjoying that movie. Around the time I liked Evanescence. And the same, it's kind of a flat circle in that way.
You just want to be woken up inside. That's all you want. What I will say is this does not give me a modicum of hope to anything future in the MCU. Because I'm like, maybe if they do this well, I'll have hope. Because, once again, I do not consider Deadpool and Wolverine part of the MCU, even though it is. It is completely devoid of all the issues that happen in anything else. But I am so nervous of Doomsday. I think Doomsday is going to be absolute dog shit. It's going to be an over-CGI'd mess.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's going to have a direction. And if so, what possible direction? Because they already closed this universe.
Yeah.
They literally played closing time. Like, this universe closed. We all went home. I guess it was Green Day. But even so, like, we all kind of called it a day and said this universe is done. And then we packed it up. And then it was reborn again because Deadpool was so successful. And we're like, okay, we'll close it down. You know, hey, it's great that this bar got to reopen, but let's be real here. It's time to close it down.
Yep.
And then the MCU is like, no, hang on. We got to get a finger on this ball. It's like, you don't. Okay, to what end? You're going to bring 60-year-old Alan Cumming back and put him in full blue face paint again? Like, what are we doing? I'm not saying we don't need to do it. I'm saying that this could be, I would argue, a 20-minute scene in a larger movie of the old universe dying and the new universe being born, and I just don't know that it's necessary to do an entire movie over it, but I guess we'll find out.
It's giving, this movie could have been an email.
Yes, this movie could have been an email.
And it's like, I'm so apprehensive. I know we're going to have to see it in the theater because it is the big thing. But I am very, very, very
I literally haven't
out.
watched a single trailer. To my mind, I still am very confused why Chris Evans is part of this at all, because to my knowledge, he left. He was done. And so the only thing I can think of is that he's going to come back as evil Hydra Cap, which is like the worst fucking thing. And one of the things I hate literally the most in comic book history. It's the thing that gets closest to One More Day.
Yeah.
Like, nothing will break One More Day's evil, villainy, terrible awfulness.
Well,
but this gets close.
To be honest, you look at it and you take out the RDJ Oscar. No one's had a really solid career. Mark Ruffalo has had a good career as like a character actor, but not a number one. Mm-hmm. And all of these people were like, "Oh, our careers are going to be great," and they're all tanked. And it's like, we need the paycheck. We need to be relevant again. We need to get back out there. I'm curious of, I don't know if it's been said, because I know it's been said that they're going to have the OG X-Men in there.
Yes.
But are they going to have the First Class at all?
Well, so the implication that I've gotten is that this takes place in the rebooted universe post First Class. So First Class, Days of Future Past, hard reboot. This takes place in the rebooted universe.
Got you.
So the one that Logan wakes up in at the end of Days of Future Past.
Okay.
That's the universe that this takes place in.
Because, the problem with having all of the X-Men, especially, and I love these two, and we just talked about one in the Watch, Play, Read, they're so fucking old now, especially
I know.
Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
I know.
I mean, they're pushing 90, and you're going to put them in a wheelchair and a fucking suit and lifting metal. It's like...
That was the thing that was impressive about Ian McKellen's one-man show. Was like, we were talking, and we were doing the math, and it was like, so he had to be 80 when he did this.
Yeah.
And he jokes about 82 and being ancient at 82.
Yeah.
And it's just like... And that was in 2020 that was recorded.
Yeah.
So, you know, dude's old.
And like that last season of Picard, man, I was glad it ended because I love Patrick Stewart, but fuck, man,
we got it in. We got it in right under the deadline.
And so it's like, I don't, even his cameo in the Multiverse of Madness, I was like, I could buy it in that one scene.
My problem
but
is,
like, I hope he's not a big part of the movie.
I don't know what to expect from this.
I don't know either.
Like, they had that whole lineup of chairs, and you're just like, how much time are any of these people actually in this movie for, though? Like, you have all of your quote-unquote new Avengers in here and the Thunderbolts. How much time are they actually going to be in this movie for?
Yeah.
I don't understand, and I haven't watched anything, so I come from a place of darkness anyway.
Well, in your defense, there hasn't really been anything.
Yeah.
They've had those character introduction trailers, and they really don't show or say anything.
Yeah.
So really
I just, like, I don't know what to expect from this,
Yeah.
but very honestly, I joked about this with you when we were leaving Mortal Kombat 2, and we were looking at the Doomsday big standee that they had 8 months early, and I turned to you and I said, they're pulling a Matrix, and it's probably going to work out just about as well.
Yeah.
Where you're going to have this big tentpole blockbuster come out in December, and then you're going to have the big tentpole sequel to the blockbuster come out in May, and it's just like, I was there, and I remember.
Yeah.
When all of us were like, oh, there's another Matrix movie already? Okay, all right, I guess we're doing it. And it's both were bad, and I don't know, man. I think between A, the superhero bubble being popped, B, other superheroes coming in and showing other more interesting takes on the genre, C, the continued deficit of the Russo's ability to make filmmaking vis-a-vis some of the things that they've made sense, and including some of the bigger Marvel things that at the time we loved, and in retrospect you kind of look back and you're like, but I don't know about this one thing. I look at all of these elements and I just wonder, why would I think this is going to work, given that, like, you come into my bank of nerd with this terrible debt-ridden proposal, and then this is your proposal to get out of debt.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think that this is just going to put you further in debt.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it. I don't have a lot of warm fuzzies, but that is for another day, my friend.
Yep.
Well, you know what that is? That is episode 193 in the books of NerdPod Generations. We are just one step closer to big episode 200. So make sure you like and subscribe our show on either YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Once again, you can do that from our website at nerdpodgen.com. And Al, who does our music and our artwork?
Our music is by Kortney Howell. Our art is by... Nope, that's not right. Our art is by Kortney Howell. Our music is by Brendan Williams and James Connolly. I am Alfred Judson.
And I'm Steve Taylor.
And until next week, friends and enemies, I have no fucking clue what we're going to talk about, but we'll hopefully
fun.
We'll hopefully solve our video problems by then.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
All right. Have a good week, friends and enemies.